Here's a bold-ass statement.
Bitcoin has the power to save the entire world.
Now hear me out. It's a broad statement and it sounds ludicrous without context, but let me explain. Right? It's not as simple as everybody just buying Bitcoin and the world is just saved overnight. Right? And I'm not a Bitcoin shill. What I'm really trying to say is that blockchain has the ability to be the catalyst that releases the planet from the clutches of the largest global monopoly that has ever existed in human history, that is ultimately responsible for most of the suffering that goes on in the world today. And you know what I'm talking about. The global elite banking cartel. Blockchain can end their entire game. Cryptocurrencies use blockchain. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, therefore it's the most popular. Therefore, I have reason to believe that Bitcoin is being targeted by the banking elite. Alright, now forgive me, if you will, for my conspiracy theories, right? But at least I'm warning you to appease me for a moment by opening your mind just a little bit, putting on your tinfoil hat, just for a second. But the thing is, you don't need to wear a tinfoil hat for that long, right? Because on this channel, we don't just say random shit without evidence, alright? On this channel, we're keeping it real. I'm gonna break down my thesis, alright? So firstly, in any great crime-solving mystery, we have to find out motive, right? Why? Why would the banking elite want to crush Bitcoin? Why would pundits on television every day who hold large amounts of holdings in different stocks and their net worth is so exposed to the banking sector, they would want to see nothing more than Bitcoin drop to a price of zero? But why? People say that the blockchain will do to banking what the iPod did to record shops, or what Netflix did to Blockbuster, right? Technology can be used to give access and financial services to billions of people around the world, even in like third world countries who don't have access to traditional banking. Bitcoin allows people to send money across borders instantly with fees that can't really be compared to that of a bank. And that can really hurt the bottom line of a bank, right? So much that even the Inquirer wrote an entire article earlier this year about how global remittances are on the decline, right? And I'm not going to speculate on the exact reason why, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies had anything to do with it, right? But you think banks don't already know about this? I mean, check this out. This is a report from the DBA, which is the British Bankers Association, from March of 2015, right? There's an entire 50-page report talking about how new technologies are going to disrupt their industry. And there's an entire section on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and how they are becoming ubiquitous, and as they grow in popularity, so too will the risk for banks, right? That would work up my nerves if I ever read that report, knowing that my entire family, for generations after generations, made a literal killing by ripping people and governments off and starting wars and contributing to world poverty and ruining entire economies through the banking system that might not be used anymore. Like, these guys feel threatened. If I were them, I'd just start shutting down people's accounts left and right for no reason, like a damn savage. Just that's not a joke though, they're actually doing that. Countless people, longtime customers and businesses are getting their bank accounts shut down for buying Bitcoins. Or maybe they're just doing it to keep us safe, you know? There's terrorists out there buying Bitcoin. 9/11? Terrorists did that? What, would you think that was an inside job? Nobody thinks that.
9/11 was an inside job! 9/11 was an inside job! 9/11 was an inside job!
Come on, they're not doing it to stop us from buying Bitcoins. They're doing this to keep us safe from terrorists. And you know what? They want to keep us so safe that a new bill has been introduced onto the floor of the US Senate that will allow the feds to seize people's Bitcoin without a trial, without due process, through what's called civil asset forfeiture, right? And that's not bullshit. This is a real bill, right? They call it the Combating Money Laundering, Terrorist, Financial, and Counterfeiting Act of 2017. And it's aimed at regulating and centralizing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. And they've added a long list of offenses for which they can legally seize your assets, and all of which of them they pertain to money laundering and financial crimes. But here's the thing. They've also vastly expanded on what the definition of what suits a financial crime, right? Including failure to filling out like this form that you alert the government to let them know that you're transporting more than $10,000. So if you're leaving the country with more than 10 grand in Bitcoin, you can like not only have your Bitcoin seized, which I don't know how they're going to do that anyway, but they can seize all of your assets, and they can take you to jail for 5 years for not filling out that form, because they want to keep us safe. So here's where everything comes full circle. On December 18th, CME Group, which is the largest derivatives exchange in the world, as well as one of the oldest, they're going to be launching Bitcoin futures trading. Now, Warren Buffett, he calls derivative contracts financial weapons of mass destruction. Basically, what a future contract allows you to do is make a bet on the future price of an asset. So if you think the price of an asset will go up in the future, you can purchase a contract that commits you to paying for the asset at a cheaper price than it is today, or than it will be, right? Essentially betting that the price of the asset will go up. The problem is you can also make the same kind of bet that the price of an asset will go down. You know what I would do if I was a bank and I had unlimited amounts of money? I'd make more money. I'd just buy up a bunch of futures contracts to go short, or bet that the price of Bitcoin will go down. I'll make some money as the Bitcoin price heads south, because weeks before I'd be pumping up the price of Bitcoin myself. And we've seen that in these past few days. I mean, we went from an $8,000 Bitcoin to a $16,000 Bitcoin in a matter of days. And nobody seems to find it in the least bit fishy. I mean, everybody's just writing it off like, well, all the volume is coming for Korea and BitHum, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, well, so what? They pump the price up, have a sell-off, a few people lose money, they make a few billion, so what? Well, what if that's not enough? What if making some money on some futures contracts isn't even the goal at all? Look, maybe I'm giving these guys too much credit, but if there ever was a way to incite fear in the future of users of your greatest competitor, to scare them away from the idea, you definitely want to do it by A, making them lose a lot of money because they're naive to the inner workings, and then B, you'd want to do it on the grandest scale possible. How do they do it on a grand scale? These guys own all the largest media outlets. My dad texted me about Bitcoin. I was like, that's weird, because like I wonder what caught his eye. Then my mom texted me about Bitcoin, and my mom doesn't know anything about technology. Then one of my friends hit me up and said that their mom was asking them about Bitcoin too. This is all yesterday in the same day. So I was like, what in the hell is going on? Like, there's so many noobs that are trying to find out about Bitcoin. Come to find out, this came out the other day.
I think Bitcoin could help us pay for that item.
In Indianapolis, Sierra and Brad's plans for a big June wedding have suddenly gotten a lot bigger after her dad's $10,000 bet on Bitcoins quadrupled just since October.
As a matter of fact, why don't we go even bigger? Let's go grander.
To understand Bitcoins, think of it as a sort of digital debit card. There's no Bitcoin cash. It's virtual money that travels the world, but without any country or central bank backing it up. It's simply worth what others will pay for it. And this year, they're paying a lot, up 1,600% since January, going from the currency of criminals to mainstream, with some very big names starting to accept it as payment and convertible into dollars.
I just feel we're very fortunate and lucky that we're doing it at the right time.
A father's Bitcoin bet will make for a dream wedding. Tom Costello, NBC News, New York.
This has piqued a lot of interest, not just where I live, because the news is the same everywhere, right? I just find it funny how people think that none of the events that play out on the news are on purpose or even scripted, for that matter, like until they see stuff like this.
If your email inbox is out of control and you've given up sorting it out, a Baltimore company thinks it has a solution for you. Could this be the end of email overload?
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 Could this be the end of email overload? Could this be the end of email overload?
Could this be the end of your email overload?
Could this be the end of 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 email overload?
The point I'm making is, right now, they have an opportunity to awaken the masses through their own controlled media to attract brand new naive investors into an overbought market that they might be already controlling at the moment. And considering how small the Bitcoin market is compared to traditional markets, they have all the motive to pump up the market to ridiculous highs, take out short contracts, and sell off everything they have. It's a win-win-win across the board. They make money on the futures contracts, they make money on the Bitcoin that they bought and sold, and they incite fear into the masses about the idea of Bitcoin, stunting the growth of mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. So what do you think? Do you think any of this makes sense? Do they have the control to really pull something like this off, or is this theory completely blown out of proportion? Let me know what you think in the comments.